everybody, and welcome to the TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Ben.
And my name is Peter.
Good morning, Peter. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to talking about some video games with you today.
Yeah, me too. Always do.
It'll be a good one. Yeah.
Look forward to it every week.
Every single week. That's right. You know, if you subscribe, you can get one of these every week. How crazy is that? And it's free.
Yeah.
Don't even have to pay.
You can get it without subscribing, but you should subscribe so you know when it's out.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Give us a subscribe. We are, well, I mean, you do, it's free, but we do have to put adverts in here, right? That's how we fund this.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah.
we get sponsored every week by a very real sponsor. I've got this week's sponsor written here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Introducing Disco's Elysium.
Right.
So you may have heard of the game Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Which is coming to PlayStation very soon, and I'm excited to play it. I've heard amazing things. Mm-hmm. This is not that.
Oh, okay.
This is Disco's Elysium.
Yeah.
A crisp-sponsored afterlife.
Right. Oh, Disco's the crisp, yeah.
Yes, so stay with me. You know, the concept of the afterlife that developed over time and was maintained by some Greek religious and philosophical sects and cults. Elysium.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Married with Disco's crisps. In their own words, the tasty perfect circles famous for their punchy, tangy flavours.
They were not perfect circles, if memory serves. I don't think I really ate them hardly ever, but you know, no crisp is a perfect circle. So
that's what it says on their website. So it's got to be true.
Okay.
So you can sign up now for Disco's, that's with an apostrophe, Elysium, and enter the crisp afterlife. When you're ready to go there.
How does it work though? Like, what? Do you go there and there are crisps there? Do you have to eat the crisps to get there? Is it like a promotional thing? Like collect your 5 tokens inside a bag of Discos and you will get admission to Elysium. Are they Elysium flavored? What? I need to know more.
So it's like a William Wonkam's golden ticket sort of deal.
Okay.
There's a limited amount of golden perfect circles.
Yeah.
And they are inside select packets of Disco's crisps.
Right.
And if you win, you get to go. Now, the T's and C's are extensive and I have not read them.
Okay.
And I don't recommend anybody do because that's going to be days. It's a huge PDF. Mm-hmm. No one's going to read that. But I believe from skimming it that your soul belongs to the Disco's Crisps Corporation.
Yeah.
And the Elysium itself is a giant crisp packet in the sky.
Okay, I like it.
So
I mean, that sounds like heaven to a lot of people, to be honest, me included. So yeah,
sounds
I'm all
pretty
about
good, right? So that's real, and you can do that because the afterlife is real, and it's especially sponsored by Discos, or it would be, if it were real, but it's not. It's a lie.
Oh my goodness gracious me!
I got you. I got you.
Wow.
Yeah,
you certainly did. Yeah,
went high concept with that one.
Yeah.
Not real, though, sadly. We are sponsored, however, by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/Team TripleJump. We have lots of tiers available. You get all sorts of goodies and rewards, but the $1 tier allows you access to our podcast post that goes up on usually a Tuesday, maybe a Monday. And that's where we source questions for this podcast from. It's the only way you can get questions on here is by commenting on that post.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of questions, I've got one first, and then we've got those there ones that were asked for this podcast. The first question, of course, is where are we walking, Ben?
Well, we aren't sponsored by them, but we are going to be walking on a tasty perfect circle famous for its punchy, tangy flavour.
Do you think there's a high-res enough photo of it's just gonna be
the
really
lower
stretched,
the quality, the
pixelated
better.
Disco.
Yes.
Great.
That's what we want.
Okay.
So there we go.
Love it.
First question, Peter, comes from Richard Major.
It's from Richard Major, who says, hello, have you guys ever learned anything from a video game that's proved useful in real life? An actual skill? An actual useful fact? Anything? I've done a few track days at the Nürburgring.
Hey, that was pretty good.
I don't know. In Germany.
Nürburgring?
In Germany. And can honestly say, driving the track on Forza beforehand helped me. Not just learning which way the track goes, but also with the basic racecraft. Wow.
Oh.
Goodness. Kindest regards, Richard XOXO, which he's written phonetically there.
Thank you, Richard. Look at Richard going sideways round German racetracks.
Yeah, Nürburgring. It's not the Nuremberg ring, is it? I don't know.
No, of course it's not. It's the Nürburgring.
Nürburgring.
Yes. That's how you say it.
I mean, I must say, I wrote some little notums here of things that I've developed an understanding of. But having reread the question or read it out loud, I've now realised Richard Major did specify a useful skill in real life. And I don't know if I've ever really actually used these in real life. However, I have a very, very, very basic understanding of like simple binary like electrical engineering from Minecraft Redstone.
Ooh.
Okay. I've never used it in any way, shape, or form. I learned a bit of programming when I was younger at school with, I mean, it wasn't exactly a AAA title. It was some, kind of edutainment game, but it's like it teaches you how to do if then and like just conditional stuff so that you can make like traffic lights go on and off and the cars drive around, things like that, which was actually useful for me because I did a year of computer science after my degree, and going into the first week or so I was like, oh yeah, I've got this already in my head. I remember these basics. However, the one that I go to the most, particularly, like we had it in the intro of Prove It back in the Vidiots days, I learned some Spanish words purely from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I've never had a Spanish lesson in my life, but I picked up a few bits and bobs from that game. Unfortunately, most of them are really profane or violent. So...
Right. Give us some.
Okay. I mean, some of them aren't, but some of them, they're either profane, violent, or really niche, and I would never, ever need them. So, for example, I believe del lago means from the lake, or of the lake.
Okay.
Los ganados, of course, means the cattle. That's what you refer to the villagers as.
Right.
Here's a word that actually could possibly be useful. Aquí means here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Las plagas is... the parasite, probably not going to be useful. I think pueblo is village, so that again could be somewhat useful if I'm ever stuck in the middle of nowhere in Spain.
I know that one from Raymond Mysterio.
Right.
I think pueblo might mean home or something similar because he says buyaka, that's my pueblo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I don't... 619, that's my pueblo right there. I don't... It might be village. That's my big village.
That's the thing. I could be mistranslating all of these and thinking that I'm right, but...
you got the context.
I've got the... and also, I remember looking up on, like, the wiki or whatever. I was curious what they were saying, so I looked it up a long time ago, and I just sort of vaguely remember some of it. So of course, some of these they might have multiple meanings. Like maybe pueblo is also home, as well as village. I don't know. El Gigante, the giant.
Oh,
useful.
That's a good one.
Man, what else is there?
Bocadillo.
Sorry?
Bocadillo.
Bocadillo, what's that?
I think that's sandwich. They probably say that a lot, don't they?
Delicious, yeah.
In Resi 4.
You could say, I have a parasite in my sandwich. Or
yes.
Can I have your finest cattle sandwich, please? You might just about get away with a nice
home,
beef
in
sandwich
my village.
at home. Yeah. I know a bad word, which is, I mean, if you've got any Spanish children listening, please cover their ears. Cabron.
Whoa.
Forgive my accent. As I say, I've never had a lesson. I think
cabron.
That's sort of, cabron. I think that's bastard or something like that. I'm not.
You can't say that.
And then there's one or two phrases that are like very long, and because they're so long and specific, I will never ever need them. So I believe, what do they say? To voy a se picadillo or something like that means I'm going to turn you into mincemeat.
Whoa, you got the inflection down though.
Yeah, I think so.
Dio.
It's one of those LLO. It's like paella, you know.
Right. Paella.
Yeah, paella. So all kinds of things. In fact, I'm going to pull up the page while you give me your answer and see what other things I could have learned if I'd remembered them.
All right. We've actually got a list about this in the works currently. It's with a video editor. About things we learned from video games. So that will go out on the channel at some point. It's not exactly useful, but I know far more about guns than I wish I did.
Yeah.
In fact, everything I know about guns has come from video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's kind of disturbing how much you pick up in these games about firearms, but there we are. The polar opposite of Richard's story about getting better at driving, I was in a car crash, not a serious one, everyone was fine, when I was a teenager.
God.
And the experience playing the likes of GTA and Gran Turismo, like I could see the crash coming.
Yeah.
There was a stationary car and we went into it. And for some reason, like as I was bracing for it to happen, I sort of weirdly mentally knew what to expect from, like, even back then, the fairly comprehensive physics engines these games had.
Yeah.
It was really surreal and strange. And again, everyone was fine. But like going into the back of that car, in my head, I already knew exactly how our car would react and like move in relation to crashing. And to add an extra layer of video game authenticity to it, I had my PSP with me at the time. And the PSP was fairly new at that point. I didn't have a carry case, so I was still using it like taking it to places in its box that it came with originally. And it flew off the seat next to me through the middle, the middle of the two front seats, and wedged itself down between where the windscreen meets the dashboard.
Yeah.
And just flew forwards at the point of impact, and I had to like yank it out, and it became sort of a weird triangle shape. And I've still got that box, so there we go. It all came full circle.
Well, so that video game, instead of a video game, an actual video game console taught you a lesson, a handheld.
It did.
I should say
Physics.
Physics. Wear your seatbelt, otherwise your head will be a triangle shape.
That could have been me.
Yeah,
wedging.
Yeah.
You got one.
I mean, I'm looking. I probably did the best one there, the mincemeat one. I'm glad I remembered that because there's I'm going to break you to pieces, which is os voy a romper a pedazos.
Nice.
So I mean, yeah, just if I ever get into a fight in Spain over my cattle sandwich, then I'm sorted.
Or go on holiday.
Yeah,
you got all the phrases you need.
There's a rumor that there's a foreigner amongst us, it says here. So if anyone's
when you're on holiday, you should say that.
Yeah, definitely. You're surrounded by him.
Put your arms around some of the locals and say that.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that there's a foreigner here.
With my terrible Spanish accent.
They'll never find out it's you.
They won't know it's me.
Never work it out. Well, it's time to move on, Peter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To talk about what we playing.
Oh.
It's what we play in time. Peter, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing a few things. Well, I've played a couple of things, and I will have played an extra thing at time of release from this podcast, but I haven't done yet. So, firstly, I played some more Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, at the start of the week. Just been enjoying getting back into that game now that I've had a little break from it. As I said in the previous podcast, it's I've not really played it since its initial flurry of activity around it, and then they did an upgrade for PS5. So I've just been enjoying. I mean, it's not a hugely different experience, especially since I don't have a 4K TV, and it's still largely the same. But the loading times are definitely better. The adaptive controller is a lot of fun. Definitely adds an extra dimension. But it's just, as I say, it was nice to just have a break and then go back to it, because I left a lot of stuff untouched in that game. In fact, I hadn't even tried to do any time trials at all in that when I put it down initially. So I've been doing some of those. Been doing some of the I can't remember what it's called now. The crazy the inverted mode levels.
Okay.
So that's all been a lot of fun. Since then, though, or I should say, since Monday. On Monday, on my stream, I completed Haven Call of the King in that I got to the ending where it's all very disappointing and he just gets chained up and left to die, and then the credits roll. And I realised it would be nice to maybe try and show the secret ending that's available, which really doesn't answer any questions at all, but it would be nice to show that maybe on my next stream. But in order to do that, you have to do a whole load of endgame stuff. You have to like circumnavigate entire planets in this very technically impressive thing for the PS2 era. It's like No Man's Sky. You can actually just fly down in atmosphere seamlessly. And I'm not going to be able to do all that in 2 hours. So what I've been doing now in my downtime off camera is setting up several save states so that I'll be able to show off little bits and bobs of that final few hours on my stream, but without having to actually do it all in one go. So I'm going to complete it all in one go so it's ready so that I can show the ending at the end of the stream. And then also set up a few save states periodically so people can enjoy like some of the little challenges you have to do. So there's like bits where you get inside like a hamster ball and you have to roll down these courses where the track is like crumbling away and stuff, and you can fall off the edge if you're not careful. The kind of stuff that everyone makes in dreams, you know, like the rolling ball games. So there's some of those. There's like a glider challenge. So there's a lot to do. So I've been doing bits of that. The first thing I had to do actually was like perfect a bunch of other stuff to even be allowed to start making my way into that end game stuff. So I had to like win a boat race, which was really, really hard. So yeah, playing some non-streamed Haven this week.
Nice.
And we are recording this on a Thursday. A Thursday. By the time this podcast goes out, I will probably have started playing an Evercade that has been very kindly sent to us.
Oh yeah.
Which is exciting. There's a whole load of cartridge. I guess I've not even opened the cases yet. Is it? I guess it's cartridge based inside or something.
It is. Yeah. Let me just pull up the every handheld ranked from worst to best because it was on that.
Sort of, yeah, that's why. It's partly why we were so kindly offered a free one. They just got in touch and said, "Hey, thanks for putting this so high in your list." I think they were
number 10. Yeah,
I was going to say top 10. I think they were in. So they were very pleased to make it so high in our handheld ranked out of every handheld ever. Top 10 is not bad. Mm-hmm. And they said, if you'd like one, we'd love to send you one, and you can just see what you think. Maybe just chat about it with your audience. So that's what we're going to do. Not played it yet, but it's just down here actually.
Nice. I believe they were going to send all the games as well that are available.
They have done. So yeah, they're still in their cellophane. So I don't even know exactly what to expect, whether it's cartridges or I guess it must be. But
yes, to be counted on the handheld list, I think you needed cartridges. Right.
Yeah. So I've got Atari Lynx Collection 1 and 2, the Oliver Twins Collection. You know, Charles Dickens's Oliver Twins.
Yes, yeah.
And there's all sorts. There's loads. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go. But I haven't yet. So stay tuned. We'll talk about it next week, definitely on the podcast and probably in its own dedicated video as well.
Yeah, 100%.
What have you been playing, Ben Potter?
Well, I've played a little bit more Minecraft with friends, which has been very nice.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Strikers, I've been forging ahead with that. I think I'm near the end of the game now, and I've been doing pretty much everything quite exhaustively as I've gone. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like the platinum may be achievable.
Okay.
So I may end up going for that, but I'm nearly finished with it now. I did finish and platinum We Were Here, which was a very, very easy platinum. But that game is fantastic fun. Mm-hmm. I think I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. Basically an escape room game that you play with one other person. over the internet, and you can't see each other's screens, and you're just in different locations, and one of you has to guide the other through puzzles without actually seeing them. Really good fun, really novel idea. There's a few of them, and I think I'm going to move on to another one soon. But that's great. Persona 4 Golden, I'm also nearly done with that. I am going to go for the platinum in that game.
Right.
I have and it's been, I checked, I think July 2013 was the first trophy I got in Persona 4 Golden. So this platinum is nearly a decade in the making.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite ever games, so I think it's a worthy addition, and I will continue to plug away at that at night before I go to sleep. It's my bedtime game.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
And after I played some WWE 2K19 on stream last week and created Barbara for a future My Career Mode run after we finish up with Spider-Man on my Friday streams, I've, in my spare time, been going in and grinding to unlock in-game loot packs in the hope that I unlock the entrance I would like her to have. Because, as I discussed on the stream, even though 2K20 is considered the worst game by quite a wide margin, 2K19 does so much wrong. So much to an extent that 2K20 actually improved on it in some aspect. One area, for example, being the entrances, which for the first time in any game, in 2K20 as well, a lot of the customization options were locked in-game loot packs, which is terrible. Or you could just buy them straight up with a different in-game currency.
Right.
In 2K19, the entrances are also locked. So you can't have... There are very few There's very few music choices. There's very few animations. You can't just select another wrestler's entrance like you usually can. You have to unlock it randomly. And then you also have to select a victory celebration as well, which is also something that you have to unlock. So, for example, if you have Brock Lesnar's entrance that you've managed to unlock in a random pack, you don't then automatically get Brock Lesnar's victory celebration. So you will have to mix and match your intro and celebration, with different music and everything. It's stupid and limiting and terrible. And I hope when it comes back, they do away with the loot packs entirely. But it's 2K, so it'll probably be worse. Who knows?
Man, that's really weird.
It's terrible. It just massively limits creativity and what you can do with a custom character. And I don't know why they would do it, apart from to test the waters to start charging for these loot packs, which is probably what they're going to do. So just grinding away, earning in-game currency to buy loot packs in the hope I get the stuff I want.
You would think that it would at least let you separately select your entrance and exit music. Select your entrance music, which will play irrespective of which actual animation you choose. So then at least if you are mixing and matching, if you've still got the right, what is it? What's the video on the screen? What's that called?
It's called the Titantron.
The Tron, yeah.
Yeah.
If you got that playing consistently, then the animation isn't so bad. You might want to mix and match. But that's really silly.
It's
dumb. The music changes.
Usually Barbara has Triple H's theme, and then she has sometimes Triple H's entrance, but sometimes a different entrance. But it was particularly stupid when I unlocked Brock Lesnar's entrance, and I thought, at the very least, I've got the music, so I can apply that for the outro. No, you have to get that one again, randomly, and it's so stupid. So there we are. Hopefully the streams will be worth it.
Yeah.
We shall see. Let's move on to another question.
Let's. Yeah, this is from Brian. No, it's not. It's from Ernie Arrowsmith.
Ernie Arrowsmith. We'll get to Brian
later.
We'll get to you, Brian. Ernie says, "Hi guys, it's recently been announced that Niantic are working on a Pokemon Go style game but with a Pikmin theme. Pokemon Go has been massively successful, but other attempts at similar games have been met with lukewarm receptions. Do you think there are any other video game IPs that would translate well to an augmented reality style game? And are there any IPs that could reach the same level of success that Pokemon Go has? I realise that these two questions might have completely different answers. Hope you are both doing well. Resident Lord of the Rings character, Elvern Arrowsmith.
Elvern Arrowsmith, there he is. He'll jump into a barrel and save the dwarves.
Yes.
That's what he does.
That's what happened in the Lord of the Wrongs.
In the Lord of the Wrongs, yeah. I think, I would agree that I think those two questions have different answers in that I don't know if there will ever be a game that has such a crazy amount of success as Pokemon Go in terms of AR games. I'd like to think that there will be, but it was just a sensation, wasn't it, at the time? And I think part of that was because it wasn't the first augmented reality game in the world, but it was new and fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
And now, even if a great franchise, one that could rival Pokemon, brings out their own kind of game, people will be interested, hopefully, and give these things a go. But because they've played augmented reality games before, and it might even implement things like driving around your neighborhood and trying to find certain things, and all the stuff that Pokemon Go did so well, and that it was so interesting and unique. There won't be as much. I guess the novelty won't be there as much. So I think in terms of success, it will be hard to beat Pokemon Go. However, interestingly, this is also a list that I don't know, is it out yet? Your list about AR games we'd like to see?
Yes, it is out there.
Yeah, so it's another list that we've done. But I tried to think of ones that weren't in that list. And one that I came up with that I think could maybe work, and I don't think it was in that video. I did watch that. This might be really weird, might even be a bit haunting, but you could do like a Sims augmented reality game where they just wander around your house, like,
oh my God,
living in your house, but you just can't see them unless you hold your phone up.
That sounds nightmarish.
It does, and like your phone hopefully is able to recognize the function of like a sofa, and maybe it can even like project a fake thing onto your TV screen that they're watching, and they could like go around your kitchen. But then maybe on top of that, you could also add your own furniture and things, like in The Sims. Like you could have a buy mode and replace your sofa, or get like a really cool, I don't know, just add a bathtub to your house if you've only got a shower, or
right.
So it could be interesting. It might be quite limiting if you live in a very small apartment somewhere, like I did for a very long time until recently. Like I don't think Sims would be very interesting in my sort of two room, but kind of just one room with a sliding door flat where we used to film main menu.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could be interesting. I think it could work. It's very different to the Pokemon Go style thing, though. You wouldn't go around catching them all. It would be a different game entirely. But I thought there's something there. Maybe, I don't know. The reason I got to that one was because you mentioned in that list, which I think is a really good idea, a kind of a haunted house sort of thing. I mean, I would hate to play it. It would terrify me. But like you hold your phone up around your house and you like take pictures of ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
That are actually like haunting your own building. So I kind of thought that, but nicer with Sims.
But nicer. I still think it would be just as haunting, but in
it probably would be
a different way.
Just walking into your bedroom and seeing two Sims woo-hooing in your own bed.
Yes, absolutely. As you casually slide in next to them.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that would be really strange if you just lay down. Oh no.
I don't want to be prevented from using my own bathroom because a Sim is there all blurry having a shower.
Just pixels up in your face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be very strange, but I think it could be interesting.
Yeah.
What have you brought?
So,
to the party?
Yeah, there is a list out now. Excuse me, that was written by Shana.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Go and watch it. But no, I don't think there'll ever be an AR game that reaches the heights of Pokemon Go, because, as you said, it was a novel idea at the time.
Yeah.
And it was before the realities diverged and we went down the bad timeline. in
Yes.
2016, just, that summer, just before we went down the bad timeline. And it also it's one of the few IPs, Pokemon this is, that has the brand, not only the brand recognition to get that kind of AR idea off the ground, but it's also that the whole premise of Pokemon, in that you catch monsters, just inherently works in an AR setting. And it seems most other concepts that have come since, or even before, have just fallen flat for those two reasons. They didn't have the brand recognition, and the mechanics just didn't really make much sense or were particularly interesting.
Or they had to force in their own. So they either don't have a kind of go around catching style, or they've had to force one in. Like I think there's a Harry Potter one where you find magical creatures, and
it's a Fantastic
that's not really
Beasts thing. I think.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? But that's not really what you associate immediately with Harry Potter, so it doesn't work quite as seamlessly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's that kind of thing. That's the only way I ever see there being a game getting an AR game on your phone getting remotely as big as Pokemon Go is, regardless of the quality of the gameplay. And famously, Pokemon Go was pretty broken for a while.
Yeah, it
at
was.
the start.
Yeah.
But something like, and again, I don't know how these games would work, but I was going to say Harry Potter, but there is one already for Fantastic Beasts. Star Wars, Marvel, you're going to need something that's hugely recognizable to stand any chance of any success here.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon Go is free, but I feel like maybe some of these other ones, if they did release like a Marvel AR game, it would probably have microtransactions and other crap in it. So it would have to follow the same model. It would probably even have to be made by Niantic. And if they're making a Pikmin game, that's not going to do well. Pikmin is nowhere near as recognizable as Pokemon, nowhere near as popular. It's good that it's being made by the same people. They know how to do it. But yeah, I just think the only way you're going to get any games remotely close to that success is by just having a massive franchise behind it somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it. That's what it comes down to.
That's it. Well, it's time. Oh, let me reach. I never prep myself.
Crinkle.
I hear you.
Crinkle.
Yeah.
Crinkle. It's a bit odd that you don't have your paper so close.
Well, it's because it's I have a cushion on my desk when I record because my microphone sits on top of a cushion. Otherwise, my computer reverberates up through my desk, through the legs of my microphone, because it's just sitting on I don't have like an arm or anything. So I've got a giant cushion, and then behind that is my keyboard shoved to the back of the desk, and then behind that is my paper. So
right, you've got to do a bit of reaching.
Yeah,
it's strange that you have such a workaround there.
That's right, it is. It's a bit weird, even
peculiar. Yeah.
Let's have a weird news.
Oh. Weird news time, Peter. Weird me.
I'll weird you right now. In fact, I should say who sent this to me. It was from Pete's Tweets on Twitter. Thank you, Pete's Tweets.
Pete's Tweets.
For sending this story to me.
Is that not just you?
Yeah, I sent it to myself, but I didn't want anyone to know I'd sent it to myself, because that's really sad and depressing. So I made up a pseudonym. It's Pete's Tweets.
Okay.
Here we go. According to GameBite.com, written by Richard Breslin, children are applying for a job as a professional Minecraft landscaper.
Okay.
Little subtitle. It's pretty well paid!
Oh.
Exclamation mark. Children as young as 10 are applying for a job as a professional landscaper in Minecraft, says Richard in the first line of the article, rewording the headline by one word. The position of virtual landscape gardener in Minecraft is advertised by Watshed. The company is a UK-based retailer that specialises in everything related to gardening. So I guess to keep up with the times, Watshed is looking for a virtual landscape gardener in Minecraft that can offer clients creative feedback and advice in creating the perfect in-game garden. Which alone is a weird thing. Never mind kids applying for it. It's weird that a garden supplier or service provider is now diversifying into Minecraft gardens rather than real ones. Any would-be employees must have a knowledge of Minecraft, have strong communication skills, a creative flair, be confident in remote working, and experience in landscape gardening is preferable, but not essential. If you are successful in landing the position of the Minecraft landscape gardener, you can earn anything from £50 per hour, and you can even negotiate your own rates. Now, I'm guessing that's sort of contracted work. It's not like 8 hours a day. As you can imagine, a lot of applicants who have inquired about the role are under the legal UK working age of 13. That hasn't stopped them from putting in their best efforts to get their dream job, though. And then brilliantly, there are some extracts here from applications. So,
okay.
I have been playing Minecraft almost every day since I was 7. I am 10 now, said applicant Emma.
That's over 900. That's over 1,000 days of experience.
It is. Almost every day. Wow. Good luck, Emma. A 14-year-old even asked if they could get the job if they don't own a game console. Hello, can I participate if I do not have a game console and I am 14 years old? Asked Marat. Probably not. I don't know. I'm 12. Is that okay? ... Like I can work on weekdays / 6 to 7 on weekdays. I know he did say weekends. Yeah, I can work on weekends or 6 till 7 on weekdays. I really hope that he means between 6 and 7 in the evening for 1 hour.
Yes, I'd assumed that's what he meant.
Yeah, because he's at school.
He's after school. He's got homework and stuff. Yeah,
he's got to start his homework at 7, but he finishes his tea at 6. So that's from Nick. Knowing that experience in real landscape gardening is preferable, 15-year-old Juan let Whatshed know that his dad owns a landscape gardening business. Now, this kid's going places. Yeah. He says, my father owns his own landscaping business, so I'm around gardening and landscaping a lot. I also have plenty of free time. Since I'm such a young age, kids will not feel creeped out as much as they would with a 30 to 40-year-old. As you can see, I have all the skill sets and requirements for this job. Shoot me an email.
Right. Juan's dad wrote that.
Yeah.
Hands down, there is no way. How old is he?
15.
There's no way a 15-year-old wrote that.
No.
Absolutely no chance in hell.
He might have asked his dad to add in a sentence, kids won't feel creeped out as much.
Yes. Yeah. 15-year-olds are famous for shooting emails to one another.
Shoot me an email. Hey, hit me up on Slack.
Yeah.
If you could just CC me in.
Add me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, there's your entertaining read for the week. Are you tempted to apply for this job as Minecraft landscaper? Personally, I'll keep this information away from my 10-year-old son for the time being, but I suppose he could be the highest earner in our house.
Wow. We need to start applying for these things that we hear about, the Pringles competition, the Minecraft landscaper, just to get the rejection email.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hi, my name is Juan, and I would like to invite you to join my professional network.
My dad is a landscape gardener. Yeah.
And you won't be creeped out by 35-year-olds. Creepy 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
Ugh,
we could definitely apply and just say, hey, we've built big walruses. We built a castle. We've not really done much garden landscaping, but we
built a
blew up
moat.
something once. Yeah, we do. We've got water features. That's what they always had on Gardeners World.
How can we? Yes, no, that's Ground Force. How can we
Ground Force, that's the one. Yeah.
How can we spin the massive explosion? Expertly implemented a system through which massive amounts of garden waste was removed. At ahead of schedule.
Created a rockery in 6 seconds.
Yes. Do it. Creative problem solving for mass earth removal.
Perfect. I like it.
And my dad owns a gardening business.
Yeah. And I'm 15, and what is this?
I hope Juan gets it.
I do too. Yeah. God. Best of luck to them all.
Good luck, Juan.
Do you have some weird news, Ben?
I do. This is from videogameschronicle.com, written by Chris Scullion. The headline reads, Japanese CEO gives staff the day off to play Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, wow.
March the 26th is Monhun Day for workers at tech company Marcon. The CEO of a Japanese tech company says he will give its employees the day off this Friday so they can play Capcom's Monster Hunter Rise. Misaki Hiyama, who runs VR development company Marcon, posted a tweet stating that since many Japanese workers take a day off when a new Monster Hunter game is released, he was declaring March the 26th Monhun Day so they could all stay at home to play. As reported by Huffington Post Japan, Hiyama sent all employees a vacation notice letter stating March the 26th will be the release date of Monster Hunter Rise, and since it is expected that we will not be able to concentrate on our work, I will be making that day a Monhun vacation.
Wow.
Hiyama explained to the Huffington Post there were several employees who said that they wanted to take the day off on the 26th because they wanted to play Monhun immediately. So we took the plunge and did this. We received words of thanks and appreciation from employees for giving them this day off. So Hiyama also pointed out that the holiday was for employees apart from executives. Blah, 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 tells me a bit about Monster Hunter Rise. So, yeah, I don't know if you've heard about, this phenomena.
I saw the trailer for it the other day, but I didn't necessarily know that it was taking Japan by storm.
Well, there's a pattern in Japan, and I've heard about this before. I can't remember if it has a specific name, but whenever there's, and I think it's Monster Hunter, maybe it's Dragon Quest, it's one of the big Japanese franchises. Yeah. Whenever a new one would come out, there would be a noticeable... I'm losing my voice.
You are.
There would be a noticeable rise in sick days on that day. Like, so many people across Japan would call in sick to play this game. And I think it might have been Monster Hunter. So this is a clever way of circumventing that.
It is. Did you say what kind of company this is that he's...
It's a VR development company.
Okay, well that kind of makes sense, because I thought, like, you wouldn't... It would have to be a company with a certain demographic within its employees to make this worthwhile, because I can't imagine that, if you run like, well, I don't even know, if you run a catering business and you've got a bunch of maybe 40-year-old men and women who just do catering, they're probably not the kind of people who are so into Monster Hunter that it would like adversely affect your business for a day with everyone being off sick. So... But it makes sense if it's a VR development company. They're probably all fairly gamey.
Yeah.
As it were.
They'd probably lose most of their staff that day anyway.
Yeah.
So, good call.
Wow. Yeah, that's excellent. I like that. Maybe we could do that whenever a big game comes out.
See, I was thinking about this. I can't remember the last time a big game came out that I was so excited for that I wanted to book the day off and just play it all day.
I think you did it last year for something, didn't you? Was it Final Fantasy?
It might have been fun because that arrived early. Was it?
Your PS5? It was.
Yes, I booked the day off for my PS5 and Demon's Souls. That's true. That's true. That was the last time I did that, so it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But before that, I'm just trying to think. Like, maybe I was very excited for Borderlands 3, but I went away the weekend it came out, so I couldn't play it until Sunday. But I do remember. Honestly, it's Skyrim was the one for me.
Yeah.
Where I just didn't move from my hovel for like 3 days when I was at university, and I just stayed in and played Skyrim. That was amazing.
I don't think I got it on release day. I think I just sort of bought it within the first week or so. So although I was still kind of desperate to play it, I guess I just thought I can't do it. Like, I've got work to do. And I knew that if I bought it, I would not do work. So
I was in the same position. I had to rush to finish an assignment early so that I could justify it. So all that week, all I was thinking about was Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I was just desperately writing 2,500 words about some nonsense to do with audio technology.
Yeah.
And
now you hate Skyrim.
Now I hate Skyrim, and I never want to work in radio, so it all worked out. It all worked out really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I did it. I have done it in the past, but I can't remember when it was, and I don't know when the next one will be. I mean, there's a few games this year that I'm really looking forward to, but I don't think there's any that I will have to feel like I need to take a holiday.
Yeah, if any of them indeed actually release this year.
Well, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? But yeah, there you go. Should we do a question now, Ben?
Yes, I think we should do a question now, Peter.
It's Brian's time to shine. Here he is.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian. It's Brian. I mean, I don't know if I've ever worked this one out. Is it Cahill, or possibly it's a bit more sort of Carhill? It's probably Cahill. I'm thinking Cahill.
Yeah.
Chahill. It's Brian. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Brian. Hey guys, Was there any game that was the last straw for you in a series that you once previously loved? Maybe the gameplay was too similar to the previous titles, or at the opposite end of the spectrum, too far removed from what got you into the series in the first place. All the best. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
I couldn't think specifically of one that was like the last straw in the sense that I'd been enjoying a series. It was maybe on the a downward turn, and then I was done with it. It was more like I can think of a few where I've enjoyed every entry, and then suddenly a terrible one has come out, and I've been like, right, now I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah.
So the one that immediately came to mind actually was Orcs Must Die, which is a game I've talked about occasionally. Not yet played it on stream, but I'd like to at some point. I just don't really want to have to sit and just hammer my left mouse button for 2 hours straight over my microphone. So I'll have to see if it's controller compatible. It probably is. But it's a tower defense game, but also it's third person. So instead of being over the top with an overhead view, placing towers and then just sort of watching things go, you run around on the ground as either a man or woman, depending on which game you play and who you choose. And you build little traps in corridors and hallways and things. And then when the waves start, you're still there in third person with weapons. So you're also kind of shooting your enemies as much as letting the traps go off. So it's a lot of fun. It's very kind of... it's quite stylized, and it's got a kind of charm to it with the visual design, and the music's great, and the traps are fun. It's very satisfying. It's a very dopamine-y kind of game. But unfortunately, after Orcs Must Die 1 and 2, which I loved and played to death, Orcs Must Die Unchained came out, which is essentially a MOBA. So it's, again, they've gone with instead of over the overhead view, like a lot of MOBAs are, you're down in third person playing as your hero. But yeah, you're just like looking after little mobs as they're trying to like attack the enemy base, and you're fighting other heroes. It's like a multiplayer thing. There's like lanes that you have to choose, like up, down, or middle. And it's just like one of my least favorite gaming genres of all time, the MOBA, which was such a shame because I loved that game so much. There is now Orcs Must Die 3. It's a Stadia exclusive. They say it will eventually make its way to Steam, but they still haven't given a date on that, and it's been out for a long time, so I don't know when that's going to be. But I'm looking forward to playing that when it is eventually playable for me. But yeah, that was the one that sprung to mind. Other than that, I used to enjoy Duke Nukem back in the 90s when it was okay. And then Duke Nukem Forever came out, and not only was that game just bad anyway, but also it had been a long time since the last Duke Nukem game, and then you sit and like just watch and listen to the kind of things that he says and does, and you're like, wow, this guy, I used to think this guy was cool. What's going on?
Turns out he's a massive loser.
Yeah, he's still got a cool voice, like Johnson John. You know, I've got a lot of time for him, but I don't want to play as Duke Nukem anymore. And also, yeah, infamously not a good game, even just from a technical perspective. So those were some big ones for me.
Yeah, I've got one notable example that I could think of, because I've had a lot of experiences with games where it has been very far removed from what got me into the series in the first place, as Brian puts it. But I'm still going to stick with it. For example, Borderlands 3, not as good as Borderlands 2. And
right.
Engagement-wise, I'd argue it's not even as good as Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I still love it, and I still played through the whole thing. But when I went back and tried to play it a few weeks ago on the PS5 version, I couldn't get very far before I was bored, and I couldn't play any more of it. And that seems to be a prevailing feeling among Borderlands fans, is that they just went about it so differently this time. Like gameplay wise, it's fine. It's what you want, but story wise and sort of mechanics wise, if that makes sense, sort of the live service elements, it's not what people really want from Borderlands. And I hope that that ultimately changes. But I'm not swearing off it. I'm not swearing off Borderlands because of that. Likewise, Wolfenstein Youngblood was terrible. Doesn't mean I'm done playing Wolfenstein games, because I appreciate that was a spin-off and not quite up to snuff. For me, Far Cry 4 was a game that once I finished it, and I did platinum it, and I played through the whole thing, it was just a not as good Far Cry 3, in my opinion. And at that point, I was really starting to sort of peek through the curtains at how Ubisoft was making their games, especially the more open-worldy ones. I was recognizing a lot of patterns, and it was about that time that I sacked it off with Assassin's Creed as well, even though the one that caused me to sack off Assassin's Creed was a lot of people's favorite one, that being Black Flag. But for me, when I played Black Flag, and I didn't get very far into it, as soon as I found out and experienced firsthand that you could set sail on the open seas and go where you want. To a lot of people, that sounds amazing. To me, when coupled with the Assassin's Creed gameplay loop, it was just quite overwhelming and exhausting. Like, I didn't want that. That was too much. It was already too much game. And now I had to slowly go from one place to another and discover things. Like, I wanted to do everything, and I was used to doing everything in Assassin's Creed games. And as soon as they opened it up that much, I felt like it was too much, and I didn't want to play it anymore. So Far Cry 4 was certainly one where I just, at that point, I just thought the next Far Cry is going to be like this, and the next Far Cry is going to be like this as well. And Assassin's Creed, the writing was on the wall for me, in that if they keep making them this big, I'm not going to want to play them. And I'm glad I came back for Valhalla. I am, but it was at that point that I just swore off it. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much.
That's the thing. You can come back to these things if you want to. It's, I mean, my first answer thinking about it, I've not sworn off the series. It was just one game, Orcs Must Die Unchained. I had no interest in whatsoever, but I'm still going to play the third one when I can. But it's different. And actually, when you were talking about Borderlands, I don't know why that reminded me, but Tekken is a huge one for me, actually. Like, I've been a massive Tekken fan since I had my PS1. I had Tekken 1 on PS1 and played it all the way up through the PS2. And then on 360, I played Tekken 6. And I remember really disliking that game, being really disappointed. And I can't actually remember specifically what it was. There was something about the arcade mode. I don't know if it was that you couldn't unlock characters. Maybe they were all already unlocked, so there was no reward. That might not be the case. I'm sure people correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Or maybe it was really short, or you got kind of you didn't unlock, like, they didn't have ending cutscenes. They maybe just had a little slideshow or something. There was something about it where I was like, oh, what the hell is this? Or at least that's my memory of it. In any case, there was something about that game I didn't like, and I seem to have scrubbed it from my memory entirely, and I can't even tell you exactly what it was. But and I didn't swear off the series in that I was like, right, that's it. But it kind of made me less excited for future ones. So I did end up playing Tekken 7, and I enjoyed it, but I've not gone back to it since it was first released. I kind of covered it on, I guess it was the What Culture days, and I did like the review for it there, and I had some fun, but I've not been back to it at all, and so it's a shame that happened, because it really turned me off, or it just killed some of the excitement that I had for future entries. Yeah. It
happens.
Unfortunately, it does happen. Yeah.
But you can always come back when they release Tekken 10 and they get it all right.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's the problem with, like, future entries, is now I'm thinking, like, I don't know who some of these characters are, because I didn't play enough of Tekken 6 to learn about the new characters. And then, so then you kind of fall behind on, like, who the hell everyone is. And, I used to like that about Tekken, like, they all had relationships with each other and they had history and stuff. And I kind of knew most of it throughout the series. And then, I fell off the wagon.
Man, that's what YouTube is for.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I could definitely catch up if I wanted to. So maybe I will one day when the next one comes out. But there you go.
Nice. Is it time?
Yeah.
It's
time for something big.
A Big
Big
discussion!
discussion!
Big discussion time. It's time for the big discussion this week, courtesy of Tyrone and Sam Lott, who both asked very similar questions. This is Tyrone's question. Hi, boys. Do the recent rumours about the PS3 store shutting down change your opinions on digital versus physical media, specifically games? Personally, for my console gaming, I'm trying to keep it as physical as possible, but everything PC is digital for me. Thanks, Tyrone. So...
Thanks, Tyrone.
Thank you, Tyrone, and also Sam.
And Sam.
It's not just the PS3 store, it's also the PSP and Vita stores as well. So last year, I think, they removed them, or perhaps recently anyway, they removed them from the web store. Mm-hmm. So previously, when you went through a web browser and visited the PlayStation digital store, you had access to everything, and they got rid of all the PSP, Vita, and PS3 stuff. So it was just PS4 and PS5. And now there are rumors that they're getting rid of the older stuff as well, the legacy stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you make of this?
Well, it doesn't change my opinion on digital versus physical media, because my opinion has always really been if there's a game that you really like and that you know you're going to want to keep going back to, get it on physical. Jeez, you want to get in there now, or if you don't want to get it get it physical, get it digitally, but make sure you do it while it's fresh out the kitchen. Because if you leave it, if you sit on it and wait for a long time thinking, oh well, I'll just buy that digitally one day when I'm able, when I'm free, goodness knows when it will either be taken off a store, or its servers might go down after a few years. You know, they turn these servers off eventually. Yeah. So it's not changed my opinion, which has always been there is a huge advantage to having a physical copy of a game, and I will always, I think, go for physical versions of consoles with disc drives for as long as they are an option. I think if the next generation comes out and they're still offering disc drives, which I mean, who's to say if they will be at that point? But if they are, I will probably get one. I think because. I've always been a bit of a collector, or not necessarily a collector in terms of going out of my way to find stuff, but I'm a keeper, a hoarder of my physical games. You know, I've still got a huge number of the PS1 and PS2 games that I owned from my childhood. I've got rid of a few that I just know I'll never touch again, and that I've no interest in keeping. But there are many that I probably haven't actually played for a very long time, but I know that they mean something to me. And it's as much knowing that I could play it if I wanted to, rather than actually playing it that much. Mm-hmm. I've got I'm trying to think of an example of something that I've got the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man video game adaptation for PS2. Most people preferred the second one. I can understand why for various reasons, but I was a big fan of the first one as well. Not played that in years and years and years and years, but I've still got it, and it's one of the games I wouldn't want to get rid of because I really liked that game as a child. So that's kind of how I feel about physical media, and this, if anything, just kind of proves it. I guess it's in some ways it's a different argument, because this is more about the store has gone. So, I mean, people who've already purchased these things will still have access to them. So that's not quite the same point that I'm making, I suppose.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Well, okay. I mean, that's what I've seen speculation, at least, that it's not going to affect people who own these things already. But maybe it will. Is that an unknown?
We don't even know if this is happening. So Sony's not responded for comment yet, as it stands, which likely means that it's true. This is just a report that's come out. But because of that confusion, and especially the fact that apparently they're scheduled to be switched off as soon as July, is terrible, because nothing's been communicated. Nobody knows, if it is true, nobody knows what's happening or what's going to happen with their purchases and so on. Yeah,
right. I mean, if it's up in the air, then I guess it's up in the air. I'm sure I read an article somewhere where the consensus was, hopefully people who've purchased things will still be able to play their purchased
fingers
items.
crossed.
But fingers. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's not the case. In which case, that's exactly the point I'm making, I suppose, which is get physical, because no one can switch off your physicals. But well, I guess we'll have to see how it goes, and whether there's a big outcry about it as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had the PS3 from launch, and I'm still probably one of a handful of people in the entire world that uses their PS3 every day.
Yeah.
So I have mine in my bedroom, and I use it to watch Netflix and stuff. I'm currently using my Vita every day. I had a PSP at launch, and I played that a fair bit too. But I didn't have that many PSP games because that was a point in my youth where I was selling my games to pay for other games. So I don't have that many physical PSP games. I have a lot of physical PS3 games, so that's good at least. But if this is true, this is really disappointing and actually quite gutting. The benefit of backwards compatibility on the Xbox is really coming into full view now. I still uphold my point that I've made previously in that backwards compatibility just isn't that important for me personally, because if it were available, I probably wouldn't use it at all.
Right.
But from a game preservation standpoint, backwards compatibility is clearly very important, especially when these digital storefronts are going to be switched off. For game preservation, this is going to be a monumental loss. As we said, we don't know if we'll have access to previous purchases. Hopefully we will. Will all of these PS3 titles, PSP titles, PS Vita titles go on to PlayStation Now? Is this the move that precedes Sony working out how backwards compatibility will work, either because of the already existing backlash or the soon-to-be very loud backlash if they go through with this, or because that was their plan all along and that's how they justified turning off the stores, is that, oh, you don't need them anymore because we got backwards compatibility and we're going to lump them all onto the PS4 or the PS5 store. It's probably not going to happen.
No. And I'd love it if it did, but yeah,
me too.
I don't think so.
Me too. I actually spent ages this week downloading lots of old stuff onto my PS3 and Vita. And when I was looking through the library, I have over 1,000 things.
Wow.
In my PS3, PSP, Vita library. There's no sorting available. It's all just sort of bundled together randomly and you have to scroll through it. It's terrible. And the PlayStation 3 store in particular is horrible. The download speeds are so throttled. It takes bloody ages to download anything. But the only merit I can see from this is unshackling the PS5 and PS4 store experience from the legacy outlets so that they can actually work properly and Sony can iterate on it and improve them and make them better without having to worry about how it's going to affect the PS3 digital store, which probably very few people are using.
Yeah, that's true.
But knowing Sony, they probably aren't doing any of that. They're just turning it off because there aren't many people using it anymore. And this, from a PR perspective, is going to blow up in their face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thought of, you say you've got like 1,000 things on there that you're probably quite wisely downloading. Now, I mean, as we say, it might not make a difference. They might all just vanish. But hopefully, at least if you've got them downloaded, you'll be able to access them. But the thought of, if you'd not heard this news, or if you weren't quick off the mark, or for whatever reason, if you hadn't downloaded those things, that 1,000 things that you have purchased suddenly just go forever, and you no longer have access to those. I mean, that's shocking. That's like a horrible thought. Within, of course, our very privileged Western world.
From a consumer rights standpoint, it's
all relative. Yeah,
it's terrible. It's really terrible.
So, and it would be really nice to think that maybe this is actually only this part of the story has come out, and really it's because it's all going to be moved over to the new store, or I don't know. I mean, I think we differ in that if there was backwards compatibility available, I would use it loads. Like I would use it a lot. I'm fortunate in that I didn't have a PS3 or a Vita, so in this particular instance, I'm not going to be affected whatsoever, really. Outside of perhaps, maybe one day I would have. I mean, it's very much one of those things where you say, I might do this one day, and then you never do. But maybe one day I would have got a PS3 just to play some old stuff that I missed. But certainly not anymore. So, yeah, I'm personally not affected by this, but the implication and, knowing that this could very well one day happen for the PS4 in years to come, that is upsetting to know that it is a thing and that it does happen, and this is an example of it happening.
Yep. There is very good emulation software for the PSP on PC. I used it to make the launch games video. There's no reason, especially given Sony's apparent penchant for just stealing flipping emulators off the internet and putting them in plastic boxes like they did with the PS1 Classic. There's no reason they couldn't license or reproduce with their own knowledge of making the PSP some kind of emulator that could run PSP games on your PS5 or your PS4. Same thing goes for PS3. The emulation is nowhere near as good as the PSP one, but people have managed to get it working flawlessly on PC. If you have the right settings set up and you tweak it all properly, you can play through most PS3 titles in 4K. It is possible. This stuff is possible, and just to risk losing all of these games is terrible. And I'm not even speaking from the perspective of my 1,000 games that I've had over, a decade of PlayStation Plus and other things as well that I've bought, and demos that I've tried, and all these games that only exist on PS3. From the perspective of a lot of these games are digital only. And, you will never be able to play Super Rubber Dub ever again, which is a massive loss, because that's one of the best games ever made. And it could just be gone forever, and no one can have it anymore. If you didn't buy it, and you don't have access to your download list, assuming they allow that still, you can never play Super Rubber Dub. What a waste. What a loss. They need to find a way. Well, firstly, they need to come out and talk to us about it. July is way too close for this to be happening without any prior communication. Vita games are still being released as it stands. Not very often, but indie games are still released on the Vita by small companies. And they're going to turn off the store in July, potentially.
God.
That's mad.
It is.
There needs to be better communication. They need to take backwards compatibility far more seriously now, because while it's something a lot of people want, and again, I don't think I'd really use it that much, if the alternative is storefronts being turned off and games being lost forever, then clearly it's really important. And they need to find a way, to make this work. They need to, because this is not good enough. If this is true, this is not good enough, and they need to sort it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Let's hope. Let's really hope that this is actually just the bad part of this story has come out, and really it's they've got future plans, but
hopefully,
who's to say?
Hopefully, the Wii store was shut off famously a while ago. There's that video of that guy in there listening to the Wii Shop music for the last time as the servers go off. But they gave people advance warning, and they let people keep their downloads and stuff. You can still view your downloads and things like that. As it stands, we know nothing about this, and it's not looking good. So, hopefully. Hopefully things work out. Knowing Sony, I don't think they will, though. So, hooray.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful.
It has. We've had a lovely day. I hope you've enjoyed it too.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who asked questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to get in touch with us or interact with us in any way, Peter's going to tell you where and how.
I am. We're at Team TripleJump over on youtube.com and twitch.tv/Team TripleJump. It's where we stream, and also, of course, where we put videos on YouTube. If you've got Amazon Prime, you get a sub with that, a Twitch sub. It's all bundled in. It won't cost you anything extra, so you could do that, and we'll benefit from it, and so will you. And Amazon are winners too. Everyone's a winner. We've got social media, twitter.com and facebook.com/Team TripleJump. Luke Eldon looks after Facebook. Thank you, Luke. Our Patreon is patreon.com/Team TripleJump. Lots of different tiers on there. You should check them all out. But of course, you can ask questions here on this podcast for just $1 a month. We've got a Discord, which you can get to via bit.ly/Team TripleJump. That's modded by Jack and Joe. Thank you, Jack and Joe. The podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, is available in audio form at play.acast.com/s/TripleJump. The website is triplej.mup. If you go to triplej.mup, that's ju.mp/VODs, it'll redirect you to our VODs YouTube channel, where Pat puts together weekly highlights videos, and we put all of our VODs on there. But don't go to the old shop link. Go to the new one. That's triplejumpshop.com, where we've got our latest merch, and you can follow at TripleJumpShop on Twitter for all the updates on when new drops are coming. I'm sure it can't be long now. We've been talking about what we might include, so keep your eyes peeled.
Absolutely. You can follow Peter on Instagram and Twitter at that Peter Austin, and myself just on Twitter at confused_dude. We do lists every Tuesday and Thursday, streams every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday being the joint stream, Blaze It on YouTube. Monday and Friday being the solo streams on Twitch. Worst Games Ever is fortnightly. Friday for patrons of a certain tier, Sunday for everyone else. Podcast is every Saturday, and we do shows one every other week or thereabouts. Why not leave a review on iTunes or your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. This week, Peter, we've got a What It Means to Me with our very own James Jenkins talking about Morrowind.
Absolutely.
Go check that out. There's also a big old list out tomorrow.
Yes, that's absolutely right. We're doing every single Resident Evil video game ranked from worst to best. Whoa. There are a fair few of those, boys and girls. And what do you think will be number one? Keeping in mind that the recent remakes are separate entries to the originals. So place your bets and go check it out.
Absolutely. And it was ranked and put together by Philip, our very own Philip Reed, who literally wrote the book on Resident Evil. So he knows his stuff.
That's the thing. Philip does an excellent job on all of our ranked lists and seems to have an encyclopedic knowledge/research skill for everything. But when it comes to Resident Evil, if he doesn't know it, it's not worth knowing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a final big, very big, very big thank you to everyone who donated and supported our streams last week. We were raising money for Solace Women's Aid. We managed to raise £3,276.53, which is absolutely bonkers. And
it is.
You're all very generous, and thank you so much. If you still haven't given, I believe you can by going to triplejU.mp. That's triplej.mup/SWA, or, just by going directly to the charity and supporting them that way as well.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
Bowled over by your generosity and enthusiasm as always. So you've done us proud as always, Walrus Clan. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Now, just time for today's sponsor once again before we disappear.
Yeah.
It is Disco's Elysium, the crisp-sponsored afterlife. The concept of the afterlife that developed over time and was maintained by some Greek religious and philosophical sects and cults, married with Disco's crisps, the tasty, perfect circles famous for their punchy, tangy flavours.
Oh, yum yum.
Find a golden ticket now. Go to the Crisper Life. There's got to be a better word than that.
No. I was trying to do snark the life.
Yes, that'll do.
Will it really?
Yep.
Okay.
That'll do. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.